Over 16 billion username and passwords ranging from Facebook to Google, Apple, and even your Feet Finder account were all exploited and leaked on the internet.
Gotcha.
And we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Let's go ahead and get into the details. So what actually happened? Well, a massive database containing 16 billion login credentials was discovered on the internet and included things like usernames, passwords, session tokens, and even cookies from services like Facebook, Google, Apple, GitHub, and even some government websites, as well as VPN services, messaging apps, and many more. Now, these credentials didn't come from a single company data breach, and none of the companies that I actually mentioned were directly hacked. Instead, the data was collected from multiple smaller hacks over the last couple months, then dumped onto a cloud-based Elasticsearch server with zero security applied to it. Think of it like a giant pile of username passwords all tossed into a cloud service provider by a hacker who didn't even bother to lock the front door. And this is actually how the security experts were able to identify the leak and ring the alarm on this entire exploit. And what's more concerning is that most of the data is fresh, not exploited data from dusty old leaks in prior years. This is actually stuff that's still fresh and can actually be used to exploit your accounts right now. So how did these login credentials even get leaked in the first place? No, hackers weren't sitting there guessing password 123, 1234 as they tried to log into your Feet Finder account. Instead, they used a type of malware called an Infostealer, which is essentially the software version of a pickpocketer that sends all of your information, your autofill data, your crypto wallet, your passwords, usernames, and all of that to a server that's probably in China or Russia, all behind the scenes without you even knowing. And it generally comes in the form of some sort of software that you've downloaded, whether it be an exploited app, a free Photoshop add-on, or software that you think is very helpful, or even some sketchy PDF that you might have got as an invoice. All of these things you've potentially downloaded, which also came with an Infostealer malware software that you weren't even aware of and installed. And boom, next thing you know, all of your data is being sent to China or Russia. And the bad thing about this is that you don't even have to actually be the one to physically click the download and install button for this software. If you're using an outdated web browser, which a lot of you probably are because you ignore the update notifications, if you accidentally visit a hacker's website, they can actually run a script which essentially will cause a drive-by download and automatically install this software without you even having to accept. And we know this can be a potential avenue for hackers because you, your friends, and probably your grandma all don't want to update your browser. In fact, Vidar was another Infostealer that tricked people into downloading it via Google link ads. You know, those little ads that pop up when you do Google searches right at the top? People would accidentally click those instead of the legitimate websites to download some sort of software. They would go to download something, whether it be OBS, the Brave browser, or even unlocked versions of Notepad++, which is kind of funny because Notepad++ is free.
You dumb motherfucker.
And boom, that software was downloaded, and it also included a little special thing called that Infostealer. So that was just one of the primary methods used for all this username and password data to even be collected in the first place. So who's even behind this? Well, for once in my life, I actually can't say it's the Illuminati. As promised, I'm going to go ahead and announce my Raspberry Pi 5 giveaway. It's going to go to this guy here, the Bayless Code. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Bayless, make sure you hit me up on Instagram or Twitter so I can get this thing sent out to you. And for the rest of you guys, don't worry, I'm going to have another one soon, and I'm going to announce the details of that in my upcoming videos. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back to the video. In fact, it's probably a mix of Russian-speaking criminals, maybe North Korea, and maybe even Iran. I mean, just a couple days ago, they said the world was going to feel it. I don't know what that means. Just kidding, I don't know for sure. All jokes aside, there hasn't been one actor or group to blame for this, as this was an actual accumulation of multiple different exploits with multiple actors. But don't worry, they're not here to hack the entire planet. They're just here to get your Netflix account, maybe your crypto, or maybe even your OnlyFans. And yes, I did mention doom scrolling earlier, and that's because your phones can be exploited by this sort of Infostealer malware as well. Androids are definitely going to be one of those. You can download some software, not from the Google Play Store, or even honestly, probably from the Google Play Store. Some of those games that have like 0 ratings on it that your kid probably downloaded, they definitely got a game, but they also got a side of Infostealer as well, and potentially regret. And iPhones generally are a little bit safer unless you've jailbroken it. For the most part, all you have to do is click on some shady link with a jailbroken iPhone, and congratulations, you probably got that brand new Infostealer software. So now that we know a crap ton of login credentials have actually been leaked, what should you do? Well, you're going to want to go ahead and change your password, especially the ones that you've reused over and over. We know a lot of people use the same password or very similar variations to it. So just go ahead and change them all. You're also going to want to enable two-factor authentication wherever you possibly can, and even use passkeys. You're also going to want to run some sort of anti-malware software on your computers and your phones if you can. Also, you're going to want to look at haveibeenpwned.com to check to see if your email or your information has actually been leaked. It's a free website. All you do is go onto it, put your email in, and it'll let you know if your email has been found in any sort of database. It's kind of scary once you actually check it out. Also, you're going to want to stop downloading cracked software if you possibly can. I mean, if it sounds too good to be true, you probably don't need to download it. Also, stop saving all your passwords in your browsers and get a password manager like Bitwarden or 1Password, which is essentially an app or a piece of software where you save all of your passwords in it, and it's secured in a vault, which is obviously secured with a password. You obviously want to make sure this password is very secure and not used anywhere else, and it keeps all your passwords safe. You only got to remember 1Password, which is that vault password. As long as you remember that, you'll be able to get in and you can randomly generate new passwords for things and update your passwords as you need it, all from one central point. And it's funny, I recommend this now because probably in the future, we're probably going to be making a video on how our password managers were hacked too. I'm just kidding, you don't got to worry about that, trust me. And now before you go losing your shit, I want to let you know that if you haven't downloaded any cracked software, anything that's sketchy, you just go to legitimate sites, you change your password, you use a multi-factor authentication, then you're probably still Nah, I'm just kidding. You're probably okay. You probably don't need to worry about it. But if you want to play it safe, I would recommend just go ahead and cycle all of your passwords anyways, just to play safe. The internet can be a dumpster fire, but at least don't soak yourself in gasoline as well to make it worse. Lock down your accounts, use protection in all aspects of your life, and don't be the guy who loses his life savings to try and get a free Fortnite skin or free Photoshop app. It's not worth it. But with all that being said, that's all I got for you. If you found this video interesting, definitely make sure you subscribe. I appreciate you guys' support, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.